I'm Kerry Harrington, and the place to do this is Seaborn Seafood, and we're in West Station City Harbor, and we're right on the harbor. As you can see in the background, you'll see the fishing vessel, the Seabourn. As an incorporation, we started in 1986 as a corporation. Yep, 1986, and I built one boat from rebuild a boat that I got from a fellow down in Watson Creek, Virginia. I rebuilt that boat. That was my first boat, and then I had a few boats in between, and built this boat right here from scratch, the Seabourn, and brought it up. And now I did my tour of duty on it, and my son is now taking over and doing his tour of duty on it. First response was a takeout, really, because we figured we had to find a market. The market was going to go down because all the restaurants were shutting down.
Right.
And so we had to figure a new way to get product to people. So
right.
It worked out in our favor, really, because now people realize fresh product coming from our boats right to the consumer is a better way to go. And people are cooking home a lot more. And by cooking home, you realize that the best product you can get is your local source.
Okay.
So that's what we've been able to provide throughout this whole pandemic, and it's not over yet. It's still going. So. The impact of for us back again for the business end is that marketability. You had to get in order to go fishing and have a market for your product once you get back to the dock.
Right.
And by putting it out there to the public that we're now a direct source, it turned out to be a good thing for us and even a better thing for the consumer.
Right.
So they're saving money. We got a better product, and was able to pick ourselves up that way because our market for the coming in with 20,000 pounds of fish disappeared because there was no place to put it. So anyway,
right.
And all in all, that's how we curtailed our dilemma for us.
Right. Mm-hmm. Selling direct.
Selling direct, yep. I think the positive part about it is that it's actually created our connection between the local people here. They know that now we've created a relationship with our local people, and it's been a good thing that way because you meet a lot of people, you learn a lot of things. I'm a pretty personable fella, so I like to, dabble into people's histories as well as they want to ask me the same questions. What have you done? All the different things that we've experienced, and it makes life interesting. Lessons to be cautious. One of them is to be cautious, and the masks are very important. And even now, it's showing more so to be cautious that way, and also lessons to don't just take everything for granted that you had going on, because all of a sudden you realize that things that were going so smoothly aren't going so smoothly anymore. You have to adapt. So that's the lesson. I think the lesson to learn is for people to adapt and help each other to get through this kind of stuff, because if you don't, well, the whole place is going to fall apart. So that's a big lesson for everybody to learn to humble yourself and help others along the way. Yeah, I think like they're going to not worry about so much for me is to worry about the human race as a whole. Right now, this whole thing has realized it's not about me or any individual. It's about the human race is at jeopardy right now. I don't think some people don't take that into consideration, but it is. It's worldwide. And the pandemic is not over and it's still going and people are still dying. So we need to really pull our thoughts together and say we gotta beat this thing because the human race as a whole is in jeopardy. So that's another thing that I've learned, that it's we all either pull together or we'll sink together. Yes, I think the first shutdown was the defining moment that made everybody realize that the world is in trouble. And that right there, and when they start making people stay in their homes, and the reality was we don't have a handle on this, and don't know when we're going to have a handle on it, and how it's gonna affect the world, and now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing it now, but that was the defining moment of what was really happening. I think people had to do a take up and they were scared.
Yeah.
The fear factor set in that, oh, we're in trouble. And then what are we going to do and how are we going to do it? And then as it continued, you saw the hospitals being overflowed. Then the fear factor got worse. They don't even have beds for people to go to get help. And they didn't know what they were going to help them with. So that was a scary moment, knowing that that's what's coming.
Yeah.
And we're still dealing with it. We haven't got a handle on it all the way yet. But when you're talking about the world's infected with something we don't know how to control, that's a takeoff.